Okay, session 72. Who would like to give the recap?
We made it back. We did it, guys. Good job.
Yay!
And that is all that happened.
There was we start off the long extended period in the void, while Aurelia was she was chosen to learn the at least become adept enough to manipulating subjective time, so that she could perform the part of the ritual to not blow up either side. But when we would travel through the sphere of annihilation back to our world, or our world, or our universe. So we went through, and towards the tail end, she was able to slow down time enough to properly close the void. At what point the seer also did that, and we at least know that our world didn't blow up. Don't know what happened with the other side.
Yeah, I'm sure they're fine. And if they're not, we're not there anymore.
Or maybe just some different world that just some random dude happened to be walking through the woods and shit, there's a big old explosion now.
Yeah, someone else's city just like totally went missing.
Why are my legs gone?
Then we began, I think it was like a 14-day journey or 17 days to get back. We still had our horse, like one horse, I think, right?
Right. The one horse and cart were still there. All the other horses were killed when you were fighting with the cleric of Thurisdan.
Yeah, so the whole kind of ride home was a lot of telephone, with Zarius being the wire, trying to coordinate with Loki, checking up on her. We found out that Zarius found out, and Lucirosi, that she's preggers.
It's going to be interesting to see what an Asimar and a Tiefling make.
Another Tiefling.
Probably.
Maybe it cancels out. And the baby is normal.
Like, what the fuck do we do with this?
It's yeah. Then we organized with to organize Cato's return from the daggers from the face, dagger face, opposed to daggers in the face, dagger face,
Right.
whom we met or at the end. That went off successfully. We had a pleasant lunch with
Three Fios.
Three Fios. He was really upset. He was pretty. It wasn't like upset, like crying, but he was pretty down not to see Aurelia. He enjoyed her company. Aurelia was not knowing that Aurelia had magically aged,
And changed form altogether.
Reverted back to human.
She was a cat person when he knew her.
Yeah, so he was upset that, he was looking forward to hang out with her, but I think Aurelia kind of, gave him a lifeline if he ever needed it to get back in contact with her. I think. Then when we were also where we learned that Kartha was under siege by the Imperials, that they were looking for us. There was people that were starting to return back north because the waters have cleared from villages that were abandoned. We communicate with Dagger is in the face, Dagger Face, to come pick us up. at a point outside of Kartha. So
To be clear, Daggers in the Face, Daggerface was completely regenerated by the cards that he drew. So he no longer has any wounds whatsoever, but he still wears his mask.
He still calls himself Daggerface.
Right.
I thought he seemed more mentally put together when he appeared on that ship.
Just a
So
further
he-
complication that Daggers in the Face is really more used to be Daggers in the Face.
Formerly Daggers in the Face, Dagger Face.
I mean, he always had. I mean, the dagger was removed from his face fairly early on.
Right.
It was, Samus Holbein to Daggers in the Face, Dagger Face, still Dagger Face, but only in name only.
But yes,
So
you also contacted him during the various messages that were going in and out.
Yeah, we orchestrated a pickup. A few days journey to the east of Kartha, where there was a large, visible waterfall. He made it there far before we did, and at that point, Lushirosi and Nimrod dropped a bomb that they were going to leave to. They thought they could. They thought whatever destiny they had, they could do it better alone. So they decided to pull a Justin Timberlake and go have a successful solo career. Or at least it could be a successful solo career.
The reasons he gave were dumb.
A successful solo career together.
And he's like, look, I need to go. You guys are going that way, and I need to go this other way. And I'm like, well, they overlap. But okay.
But Lushirosi has always been hard-headed and bold and headstrong and doesn't listen to anybody else and does what he thinks is right. So he and Nimrod rode off into the sunset, leaving the rest of us to meet up with Daggerface.
I got hair from Lushirosi in case I needed to resurrect him. But not from Nimrod.
But not Nimrod.
Yeah, I feel like as Lushirosi and Nimrod were riding off into the sunset together, Nimrod was just flicking the party off the entire way.
And I believe we ended on our way back to Lucianum. Daggerface was a little put off that he sailed all this way for no real reason, but here we are.
He's actually not aware that he sailed it. He is not sure why he was summoned. It wasn't discussed in any great detail. But it turns out you kind of need his boat more than him. He is not, that has not dawned on him yet. Let's see. Yeah. You also learned that Nimrod was, in fact, once upon a time, the head of the Ebon-clad Brotherhood in Monver, and that's what wound him up in prison.
You gotta do.
So, which means he was once a much more successful criminal than you might have guessed.
And you guys,
his original story was that he just got pinched during some sort of museum robbery, but no, it was much more than that.
Yeah, and it makes sense now why he was trying to use his the water thing. I can't remember what it is.
Decanter.
Yeah, to leverage his way back up in the organization.
Yeah, then you guys got the whole other crime syndicate after him.
So that may have also been why he was a little bit of afraid of the Ebon-clad Brotherhood, because they probably don't like people who get arrested and who, you know, are potential snitches. But he is off doing things with Lucia Rossi now, so that probably won't affect you too much. And you've basically just gotten on the ship. The captain is aware that you're supposed to go to Luciana, but you're still basically within sight of the coast. Everyone's been assigned quarters. The ship is clearly a bit overcrowded, as there are 5 sailors if you include the captain, and Daggerface brought more men than that with him, and now it's the party and Cato all getting ready to travel. After Daggerface informs the captain that you're going to Lucianum, the captain comes back down onto the deck with you and says, on the way here, we were boarded and searched numerous times. I wonder if that is not going to happen again. We may need to avoid the Imperial blockades. Do any of you have any skills that might help us to avoid them? We can obviously sail a longer route around where I think the blockades will be, but there is a risk that we will run into someone.
Well, if it comes to a brawl, I can be of help. But as far as knowing which directions the best wind patterns for this time of year, well, I'd imagine that's probably more of your purview.
I can definitely sail us around where, as I said, I think they will be. But you should be aware, they are looking for you. They were looking for someone, and we imagine it must be you. Presumably so that they can turn you over to the churches. What did you do to piss off the churches?
When aren't they mad at someone?
And I think that someone's left. We'll just point him in his direction.
We'll rat him out. And Daggerface, introduces you to the captain. His name is Captain Pomilio. Not often do you see a dwarf ship captain. It's not usually their thing, but apparently that is his profession.
Does he have a beard?
He does have a beard.
T-Hole, when he introduces him, T-Hole will like clasp his hands and shake more aggressively.
He also introduces you to his lieutenant, a dwarven woman named Stormborn. She has like wisps of a beard, but it doesn't seem as if she's as good at growing them as some dwarven women are.
T-Hole would give her points for trying.
And he points out, at least of the people who are above deck, there are 2 decks below the main deck, but he points out the people in his crew who are above deck since he knows them. And we can assume Clave and Nala are up there at this point. If you want to introduce yourselves. Oh, Axios.
Yeah.
Yep.
First.
So on deck you see there is a red dragonborn, 2 humans, one of which is Axios, who Mike showed you a picture of last time. There is a very tall Goliath woman and a Koatoa who seems to be staring off the edge of the ship into the water, hunched down on all 4s at the moment.
I almost forgot that I had the body of that other dragonborn that I was just maintaining gentle repose on every 10 days. So I would have had to reapply that.
It was on the
I don't know
card,
how they
though,
would
right?
feel.
It was on the cart.
It was on the card, which I wouldn't have left it.
Yeah, that's true. There must be a little bit of probably, so the boat person who went out was a dwarf in Daggerface's crew named Hardhelm. And he probably would have been, he'd have to make more than one trip once he realizes that he's got to haul this giant ass mirror and a dead body in addition to all the people. Because I assume you're not leaving that mirror behind.
Nope.
So the captain gets back up and begins barking orders. You realize that most of the people on board deck, the people who Daggerface introduced, they seem to have tasks. They're like sweeping the deck, but the tasks they have are pretty uncomplicated. And for the most part, they seem to almost be doing them begrudgingly. 4 people, however, appear to be actual proper sailors and are responding appropriately to the captain's orders. The boat is, by shipping standards, really very small. It is only 40 or 45 feet long. At its widest, it's about 20 feet across, but a large portion of the ship is only about 10 feet across. So with all of the people Daggerface brought and the sailors and you, it is pretty crowded to the point where almost immediately Cato just goes into the little room he's been provided, which again is only, it's about 7 by 5 in total dimensions. So he mostly goes in there and proceeds to lay down and rest. He's not actually been doing too well with all of the traveling on the road, given his age and levels of injury. Daggerface, of course, certainly can sympathize with him on that. So is instructing people to kind of leave him alone and let him come out when he wants to come out. But the ship sets sail, begins to sail to the south. It's pretty sunny. It's bright and still pretty warm, it being near the end of summer. You're sailing for several days. Does anybody have anything they want to sort of accomplish while you're sailing?
Still almost forgot about Kepri, whom I sent back to Loki. In my correspondences with her, perhaps I could have had her send Kepri out.
So when
perhaps
you
to meet us at the waterfall.
Right. When you first contacted her, she wouldn't have seen him by then. It had been less than 2 full days that you had been gone.
Mm.
So Kepri's fast, but he's not that fast, and he could have covered the whole distance in 2 days. But absolutely. At some point while you were traveling south, he would have arrived back there.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I could have just sent Kepri the message.
Right.
And had her come back.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Every morning.
Kepri's with you as well, then.
Cool. I'll just to confirm with the captain whether or not, perhaps if food should be like, we could provide some form of food. It won't be very tasteful, but it'll be, something, if that's something that they would need for us being on the ship.
Yeah, I mean, they have brought enough provisions with them, with your group in mind, and there's, a couple more mouths to feed than they were expecting in Cato, but then Luciarosi's not here. So he didn't know about Nimrod at all, so he wasn't planning for him. So it kind of evens out. They do have provisions enough of regular food. They also, this isn't a ship that's big enough that they weren't planning on stopping to resupply. So, if you eat some of your magical food, it may prevent them from needing to stop. That said, people may want to get off the boat from time to time.
So,
given that it's going to be like 3 weeks to get down to Lucianum.
So, Kurt, you said that Axius and Nala were on the deck while everybody else boarded.
Yes, and Daggerface took time to kind of point out everybody and give their names, at least the people who were on board deck.
So, after a moment, anybody who was paying attention to Axius, who is the red-eyed pretty boy, just kind of standing around smoking something, would notice T-Hole and Zarius and kind of do a couple of hard glances and then be like, no, seriously? And then he'd come up and he'd be like, oh, you guys, are you them?
No.
Like I'm kind of freaking out right now. Are you them?
Just for the characterization of this, the only one of them you would recognize is Zarius.
Oh, okay, fair enough. But still, you. Oh, is it Zarius? Zarius, is that you?
If I say no, will you go away?
It's you curmudgeon, you. Oh shit! You what? Sorry, I'm scaring the cats.
That's not all you're scared.
Actually, leave that in. That's in character. You would be like, wait, what? Oh, I'm scaring cats. I'm sorry. Wait, huh? You guys, you're the Colossus into Deadpools. Oh my god, I need like a pen, a quill, some.
Really, like gets a quill and hands it to him.
Whoa, what? Can you sign my arm?
He'll sign anywhere you want.
I'm gonna. All right. If I roll above an 80, then I'll do it. I did not.
Characteristically, really far away from his target number.
That's okay. I'll get it some other time, I'm sure, or not. But
Or just asking in 5 minutes. You have to be persistent.
Okay. So wait a minute. I don't think I know you from the books. Who?
No, I'm not in the books. No.
Who are you?
Nobody. There's T-Hole right there. You probably want to get his autograph.
Wait. Where?
Emperor T-Hole right there.
Where?
And he kind of like
Bow.
does a bow.
That's not T-Hole. That can't be T-Hole. That guy's not like old. He's
I was. Now I'm young.
He gets better with age.
But
Yeah. You are.
Whoa. You're T-Hole?
The one and only. And
Now that T-Hole is engaged, Zarius will walk away.
And if you don't believe me, you can ask your boss, friend.
Yeah, he's kind of boss. You know, he let me on. He thinks I can be useful. I think I can be useful. It's gonna work out. I just know it. But dude, T-Hole, I can't believe it, man.
Me either.
Did you really fly into the mouth of a dragon and just fucking fireball right in its mouth and then just get shot out of it like a comet? Did that really happen?
And the red dragonborn in the background laughs and says, "No, he did not do that because he's here and not dead."
Ignore them. They don't know. They're not in. I'm in.
Unfortunately, as cool as that sounds, that didn't happen. The comics, while the comics are just as exciting as what we actually have gone through, but they aren't representative. But I have not.
We talk all fancy and shit. I just knew you just sound like I would imagine T-Hole sounds like. You're not old though. That's kind of bumming me out a bit, but
No.
I
Hey, don't let T-Hole Oliver stone you. It happened exactly the way the comic said. Okay.
Oh, you're cool. You're a cool one. I can tell. You got that aura about you. It's kind of a bluish yellow aura. I can see auras. And yours, it's a
Like
good one.
bluish,
And then
greenish, yellowish, reddish.
and then he takes out some kind of rolled up joint and takes a huge puff. And Zarius, you would probably recognize the smell.
Is it ghost
I
meat?
don't know. No, it's not.
Then why would you assume
would
that I would know?
Zarius or any of these guys probably know?
Is it medical marijuana?
Yes, Zarius would probably know.
Would I? What is it?
It's
medicinal ghost.
It's glass grass.
Glass.
I mean,
grass.
that is right. It is something that is essentially processed in the deserts of the south near the Sea of Glass, so not that far
Yeah.
away from where your people are from.
Mm-hmm. Effects.
Seeing auras.
What do I know of it? Yes, he
now
knows.
believes he can do Reiki. While under the influence.
Massage your energy, man.
So, I mean, what you know about it is a pretty powerful hallucinogenic.
course.
People who use it tend to go into like a stupor, but they can also, like, if anybody messes with them, fly into a rage, like a murderous rage. And if you have a
Got it.
group of people who are in this stupor and one of them goes into a rage, they may start knocking into others, sending them into a rage and causing a little domino reaction that makes
So,
glass grass the sort of thing that cities don't tend to allow.
so another barbarian. Got it.
You guys, I'm so excited to be sharing this ship and this journey with you. I've read all the books. It's just, oh, we have so many awesome adventures ahead of us. I could just tell. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Well, we at least have 3 weeks.
And the Kuatoa comes up, his feet
Oh.
sort of flapping against the desk at the deck of the ship as he stares at all of you. His eyes are unblinking. It's not clear that he even has eyelids. And he says, "Hello, I am Bob. Are you famous? People seem to be very interested in your being aboard."
No.
That sounds like something a famous person would say to throw me off.
Are you
You
famous?
spend too much time beneath the waves, bro. The pages, the vellum's not good enough for the water, especially the seawater. You got to read the books, man. I've been telling you this whole time. The books.
I guess at that point, Nala would slam her foot, and you would notice that she is a very tall and imposing Goliath. She wears like leather and metal strapped armor, and which is covered in like this bluish chain, which is very eloquently designed for a Goliath. She has viscera and gore underneath her nails, and she has tattoos all over her body, showing like they're just tribal, and then there's some like beasts, giant beasts on her as well. And she would look at the crew or look at the people on the ship and be like, I know the real stories. I was told up in the Auric Mountains by my clan. There was no dragons other than that one. And I point at Zarius, the Dragon King, Dragon Kin.
Nala, you've been holding out on me. I've been geeking out over these guys for weeks. And now all of a sudden you know things about them?
All you do is talk about this book.
Books! Multiple. It's a series, bro. Brah. Sorry, it's hard to keep it straight sometimes. You're so big.
Well,
How old or how tall is this Goliath?
she is 7 foot. Where's the bio? Hang on. 7'2". So she's pretty short for a Goliath, but still tall.
You only got a few inches on me.
Yeah. And she'd be like, and this is the Emperor.
It is I.
And Bob says, no, it's not. The Emperor is a Koatoa.
We play by different rules up here on land. It's different. You'll get it.
Where are your people from? Is there a general knowledge of like where Koatoas reside? Kind of like Dragonkin reside in like the desert lands in the south.
Right. So there is a Koatoa Empire that drove people out of the lands to the east. But Koatoa reside in pretty much every major body of water, including at the bottom of the Athmere. Although the ones at the bottom of the Athmere aren't actually related to the Empire in the east. But the Empire in the east expands, they claim, the rumor is, spans the entire, like all of the oceans of the world, so they say.
Didn't they also nearly like annihilate, cause mass refugees from Morelios?
Yes, there's a large chunk of Morelios that by treaty, people aren't allowed to settle in anymore. It's just considered to be claimed by the Koatoa Empire. And so everyone who did live there was driven to the west into the human empire there, the land empire. My people are here from the Athmere. My forebears fled from the original empire, the true empire of the world, and settled here. We live in fear, mostly, that the Empire will eventually claim our world as well.
Why did you flee the Empire?
Because we did not wish to worship Blabal, the true god.
Why didn't you want to worship the true God?
She demands blood and pain. This is the way you honor her. We did not wish to live a life of seeking the blood and pain of others, or giving the blood and pain of our fellow kin.
So if the Koatoan Empire moves west, won't you just continue to go further west?
This is the last body of water that the Koatoa do not control. And this body of water is infested with many things. It is a hard life, which is why I have tried to leave to earn enough to set up my people, to buy weapons, to help them defend themselves.
What makes this water so dangerous?
Many things live in the bottom of the Athmere. Many things.
Is it just weapons your people seek?
Well, your weapons tend not to work well underwater. I will need to commission the creation of proper weapons. things that can survive and be used by my people. And you
What
see
sort
he
of-
fishes in, he's kind of in vaguely tattered clothing. You gather it's probably not super old, but he probably is diving in and out of the water fairly frequently. And it's just sort of, he is wearing basically land-based clothing, and it's doing a number on the leather of the satchel that he opens up. But he pulls out a piece of what appears to be almost like fish skin, and unrolls it. And on the inside, you could see he's got a design of what looks like some sort of simple machine. And he says, "This is the weapon I would have them build. But apparently it will cost much of your gold. To make them in any number will cost more even still." From what you can see, it is just, it looks almost like a short trident, but it's a bident because it's got two prongs coming out of, at least from the dimensions that are listed, a very short metal bar that holds these two prongs. The prongs are sort of sharp. It might just be the drawing, but they're not honed to a fine point in the drawing.
How much gold does this, did they say this would cost?
Who is to say? The numbers will change, but at least 10,000 gold I will need. Possibly more. There will be a loss over time. As weapons are used, they may break.
Is that how you ran in? Is that how you you came into Dagger Face's company?
I have found that people of your world, of the air, do not like my kind, so Daggerface was the first to see my worth, especially as he had this mission to come on. And I obviously have skills that the rest of the crew does not have when it comes to traveling on the water.
People can be such bigots.
I think your weapons of war, that utensil, is not made for fighting.
And he draws one out from under his belt. And he presses it, the two ends, against your skin, and it doesn't penetrate it. And then you see a zap of electricity shoot out of it. Make me a con save.
Okay.
So you are not stunned, and you take 3 points of lightning damage.
Okay. I chuckle and I say, huh. So a little bit of static electricity.
Bob stares unblinking up at you. Bob is only about 4 feet tall. From a human perspective, he looks like almost like he's hunched over, but that is just how Koatoa tend to stand. I don't know what electricity is. This is lightning in a rod.
Are
It's a
you
lightning rod?
Are you immune to its effects? I imagine that might be problematic underwater.
Oh, yes. It would not hurt my people, but it hurts other things that live in the Athmere. And he proceeds to just zap himself over and over. To
You
no
should
effect.
stop. You should stop quarterling. You'll hurt yourself.
Bob, that is such a cool party trick.
All Koatoa are unaffected by lightning.
Well, I don't care what others say about Koatoa. You're great.
Well, I thank you for that. They say your name is T-Hole, or were you Zarius?
I'm T-Hole.
And immediately you could see clouds form overhead, and a mocking laughter comes down from the sky.
Whoa! Whoa! What just happened?
Bob is also like wheeling around, trying to figure out what just happened. Apparently, being T-hole is not a good thing.
Bro, is this guy laughing at you? That's dope.
I think it's laughing with me. Good joke.
Bob says, no, it was definitely laughing at you.
Lucius would have enjoyed that.
Yes, good thing he isn't here to
Wait,
see it.
On what?
Where's
For you to finish your sentence?
Where's Lucirosi? He's like the dude. Where's
He's not
he?
here.
Where though? Where?
On some
where is
fool's quest.
Where is he? Where is he? He almost starts to get tearful a little bit.
He decided that he had some things he needed to take care of, and decided to go his own way.
Oh,
Amicably.
On a fool's quest.
I was kind of hoping to figure out if he's really just one of those prick religious types that just is all corrupt and garbage, or if he actually like was one of those guys that stuck it to the man.
Oh, definitely the first.
I was told that he talks too much about his stupid gods or god.
Huh.
He was certainly righteous, but not corrupt.
Wait, don't those mean the same thing?
Not for where he came from. I do not know.
And now it seems the church was after him. Is that what you said, Zarius?
Whoa.
He is certainly wanted.
Well, that would make sense then why those other ships were like trying to find out what we had. They were trying to find you guys. And if Lucirosi is running from the church, but he's a part of the church, but whoa.
Yeah, he's a messed up guy. He's got problems.
Now that he's not here, we could talk all the bad things about him.
But he's a good friend and a noble fighter, and I think I have claimed to help a lot of people, probably more than Lucirosi, but he's up there.
Right. Well, I mean, if you were the first emperor and all, then you probably helped a lot of people. I mean, I think I heard that like you built like the first roads and schools. I mean, that's pretty cool, but I mean, like that was also what, thousands of years ago. So I mean, like I still have my doubts, bro, but I mean, you are T-hole, and the books say, you know, that you're T-hole, but you don't look like T-hole, but they're calling you T-hole. But
Well, if you ever have, if you would like clarification, just ask your boss. He will begrudgingly tell you.
Oh, he doesn't. No, I tried to have a conversation with him. Like that's why I joined this crew, because like I heard Daggerface, the Daggerface, worked with you guys. I was like, oh, if I could work with him, maybe I'd cross paths with you. And look at where I am. I'm like right. I can touch you. And he kind of does. He like puts a index finger on T-hole. And then he goes to do the same to Zarius.
Do not do that.
Oh, okay, right. We don't touch. But and then wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, he hates you.
Yes, I know. Probably a good reason.
Books are a little fuzzy on what happened between you two, and I tried to bring it up and ask him, and he's just like, he won't go there. He just really starts getting mad, and he'll either like shut down, or if he's had a few drinks, he might like just start cursing you out. But yeah, he doesn't say. So I guess it was pretty bad.
It's best to leave it at that. If that's, I wouldn't want to cause him further ill.
Yeah, you're right. We're gonna have a lot of time to know each other. It'll probably come out at some point. But by the way, do you want to hit?
Oh, I'm good. I've got my tea.
Anyone else want some? I feel bad not sharing.
T-Hole's gonna look over to Nyla.
Yeah.
And just see if she like.
She just rolls her eyes every time he says something.
Oh.
But in any case, I have to thank, well, at least Zarius and Lucirosi if he was here, for they did save my father a couple times. So thank you, Zarius.
Wait, Nala. What? Your dad knew them?
Well, he traveled with them, yes.
What?
Was your dad Hellweir?
Yes, the exiled one. And now leader of the Goliath clans.
How's he doing?
Strong.
Zarius is waiting for a fly to go into Axios's mouth.
What?
You've been holding out on me.
Why are you here instead of with helping him out? Shouldn't you have some sort of position of authority?
Yes. That was until my army was attacked. And now I've been exiled as well. Just like Hellweir did in his youth.
What is your position on elves?
Well, I was raised in the forest, but I have no opposition. I do not collect ears like my father does, even though I have eaten one or two of them in my time.
Insight check.
Right.
Roll deception.
If you roll high, you'll discover this is her first adventure ever.
I was going to ask about the elves, but my character wouldn't know that. So,
Right.
so thank you for asking.
uh,
Yes, his your father and I shared many stories of our mutual disgust of the elves. As
They
I
are
look
sneaky.
around to like make sure that like there aren't any aboard.
And Nala would get in close and she'd be like, there is one. And there is an elf on board of the ship.
Normally they're fine, but
Do not be tricked by them.
Yeah, the two of the sailors, the regular sailors, are elves.
Two of them are.
It's multiplied.
Uh-oh. I only noticed one.
Wait, I don't get it. What's wrong with elves?
Nothing.
Everything.
I can't tell any of you apart.
that's fair.
Everybody's skin is so dry up here.
Well, you definitely have your father's air about you. And maybe a smell.
I have washed in this sea. Not that sticky.
That's their bathroom too, right?
Oh. And I look at Biob.
Fish piss in it.
Fish piss in all waters.
That is true. And ultimately, like, yeah.
Darius, how long they say this trip was?
Too long.
Daggerface steps back into the group and says, it'll be about 3 weeks. Now we're taking a slightly longer route to avoid sailing through the waters where we would expect to see regular progressions of Imperial ships. A little bit longer than that by a couple days.
I'll keep a lookout for the omens to try to see if we'll have safe passage.
Well, that would be greatly appreciated. Any omens that could steer us away from them would be for the best.
So like every day, sometime during the morning, T-Hole is gonna get up and brew a cup of tea, and I don't know if there's like hot water or the ability to like strike a match or boil water.
They do have a galley. You could boil water, but
So
they don't have hot water on command. You'd have to boil it.
Yeah, he would boil his water and his cup of tea and then stand up near the front, like the prow, and drop trow, and then he would be doing his augury to check for the omens for that day while feeling the wind.
Darius.
Whoa. Does he do that like a lot?
Yes.
The books might have left that part out.
You need to get the special edition.
Yeah. Daggerface is like if the books left out him going pantsless. They left out a big part of his life. So you proceed to, you're traveling south. Every day T-Hole is going through his ritual to try to read the portents, watching the flights of birds, feeling the wind between his legs. After about 2 weeks, you haven't encountered any ships at all. I mean, you have essentially left, or I shouldn't say 2 weeks. After I meant to say about 2 days, you haven't seen any ships at all. There is no land on the horizon because this inland sea is so vast. But you have noticed the weather seems to be getting a little bit worse. It is now cloudy and colder than you would expect. Not unusually colder, but a good 20 degrees lower than you might otherwise expect. T-hole, I guess, give me an augury check to see how well you do this day, to see if you find anything of note.
See DC 15 wisdom check.
Ooh.
Oh man.
So
I'm gonna use an action point.
it's good because that one, there's a possibility of something bad. But it's
I
still not a
didn't. ma-
15.
Yeah, I didn't make it.
So you don't really notice anything noteworthy in the signs that you're reading. The birds just appear to be flying randomly this day. But you do, like I said, you do notice that it's become overcast and it's unusually cold. Sailing further, you begin to see fog on the horizon, pretty much covering the entire southern vision ahead of you. So you're essentially going to have to sail into it. Once you are completely enveloped in the fog, the wind seems to die down, and so the ship is now moving at a crawl. At some point during the day, you begin to hear like little noises, like little bits of thudding, like something is hitting the boat. And then you hear there is a commotion above deck.
I'd go up.
People seem
What's
to be
oh.
sort of gathered around the edges of the ship looking down into the water. And one of the sailors looks back and says, "Bodies. There's lots of bodies in the water." You can see now that you've come up again, the fog is, if anything, even thicker than it was before. Looking in the water, you can see there are bodies essentially all surrounding the ship. And the captain says, "This is definitely going to slow us down a bit as we try to move through. But it's unclear how big a field of bodies this is. This is more than one ship's worth of corpses."
Can you is it possible to tell, like, can you see, like, are they uniformed? Or do they have any sort of insignia on them that's common?
You don't have to make a check for this. They're clearly in all different sorts of clothing. No, I mean none of them are armored, obviously. Actually, that's a good question. Who's wearing armor? Zarius. Because there is the possibility of most people aboard ship are not wearing heavy armor. Some are wearing light armor. But people are afraid of falling into the water and sinking like an anchor.
No, I feel like in this particular instance, I would not like wear it every day. I would keep it wrapped up tight in my quarters or wherever I'm sleeping.
Right. I mean, something you would have realized being aboard the ship for 2 days is the ship is fast. In fact, the ship can run so fast that it's going faster than the wind. So there must be some magic that's in part propelling the ship. It's also highly maneuverable, but you have seen no weapons on the ship at all. And the wood of the ship itself there's no armor for this ship. So it is not a combat vessel. It is probably, you realize just from all the little touches and how expensive it looks, it is probably more a yacht. Like someone lent Daggerface his yacht.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, we'll see what happens if we start getting, too much. I've prepared control water just in case, and throw some other ship into a whirlpool.
What is it? Was the Kuatoa's name Bob or Blob?
Bob.
The
Bob. Bob.
Bob.
You would learn his actual name is Bob Iglub, but nobody could say that. So, and in fact, when you say it above the surface of the water, you're actually saying it wrong. So he goes by Bob.
Bob, is there? Do you know this? Do you know this area of the Athmere? Is this? Have you seen this before?
I am not as familiar with the surface of the Athmere. I am certainly not aware of this field of bodies. They will break down quickly, I'm sure. But there are so many that I am concerned.
Yes.
Can I mean, what kind of how tall off the water are we? Like, can we see the bodies fairly close up?
Yeah, the
Can I-
bodies are all floating at the surface of the water. So
Any-
you are about when you are above deck, you are about a little more than about 15 feet, between 10 and 15 feet above the surface of the water.
I guess I'll just gesture to, I don't know, anybody I can see who's the crew, part of the crew or whatever, or if the captain's nearby. I guess they might be.
Yeah, Pamilio is there. The sailors in Pamilio, usually there's 3 sailors above deck, except during the middle part of the day, as one of them will take a break to sleep. But the captain and 3 sailors are on board, or above deck.
So
But I'm glad they're on board too, because that would make it hard to sail.
so I'm gonna ask them, can we bring one of these aboard so that I may examine them, determine a cause of death?
I suppose we can. And he calls, one of the sailors runs off and comes back in with a long pole with a hook at the end of it. I don't know how ripe these bodies are. It may take some fishing to get a complete one up.
Well,
I got that was a good one.
well, if you really need it, maybe I can help. And then Axius Krogar pulls out his water phone and starts playing it. And he ritually casts Unseen Servant to bring one of the bodies up.
Do you have a clip of a water phone? Because I'm sure few
I
people know what that sounds like.
Yes. So let me bring that up because that's important.
Oh yeah, that's the.
It's like a circular instrument with a series of
Yeah.
metal bars around it.
I played in a concert and we had a water phone in there for an obscure piece.
So what's the strength of the Unseen Servant?
They can carry like 5 pounds, can't it?
Well, it's only a strength 2. It can at least help help with the pull.
Right, it can definitely do that.
Just put the body on the hook for you.
Yeah. I didn't realize
Right,
it was
and it
so
can-
low strength.
And it can help prevent it from sliding off.
That motherfucker could barely hold a tray to bring you drinks.
But so eventually they do manage to fish one out of the water. Some portions of it, like it is clearly dripping blood and viscera back into the water, but you pull it up. It does clearly look like it's been, partially fed on by fish, but it is surprisingly intact. And
Um,
Zarius, you can give me a medicine check to see what more you can determine about it. So it's hard to tell exactly how long it's been dead. Like obviously its temperature is the temperature of the water now. There's no sign of what killed it. There are giant holes in it, but it's not immediately obvious if they were caused by a weapon or by fish or something else. The flesh is all pretty rotted, but you would guess just based on the look of it that some parts of it at least look like they've been in the water for more than a week. Other parts of it, like its face in particular, looks like it was in the water maybe a couple of hours. So it is an odd mishmash of different characteristics. But you can see that the face has not been fed on, and you would expect, like normally the nose rots away pretty quickly in the water, but its nose is perfectly intact.
Right.
The face isn't bloated, but other sections of the body are, things like that.
So yeah, I'll just convey that the body seems to have decayed in the water for longer than the head somehow. It is strange. Like the head has not been submerged.
So they did
I
not
guess-
drown, is what you're trying to say, Zarius?
If he drowned, he wasn't put back into the water. Or if he... I can only comment on its decay. I cannot determine a cause of death. Normally the head and the body would decay at the same rate, but it looks like the body has been submerged much longer than the head has.
In response to that, T-Hole would like go and look over the side and like see if like there are other bodies that, if the bodies in general, like now that he sees that, like appear to be like their heads are sticking out of the water.
In general, about half of them are face down, about half of them are face up. It doesn't seem as though there's rhyme or reason to how they're positioned in the water. But people generally float from the torso, so the head and legs tend to loll back, and so are generally more submerged than the torso itself. That said, after a certain amount of time, when there are holes in the torso, even the torso begins to sink.
What
Darius, why
creature
don't you
could have
just
done
ask
this?
him what happened?
What was that,
Beop.
Peter?
Sorry.
Darius, why don't you just ask him what happened?
Give me some time.
Oh, I can see it. Sarius talking to the dead.
It is not done lightly.
What creature could have done this, Beop?
I don't know. There are too many bodies. It would have to be something that was using powerful magic or large numbers of creatures, I would think. If your friend does not see any wounds, however, I would expect it to be magic or drowning. But no vessel in the air could cause this many people to be in one place. And I am not aware of any currents that lead here, or that would pull so many bodies before they can be destroyed by the waters.
Are we still in the Athme right now?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would have kept the gauntlet, the thing that lets me talk to the dead.
Hand of otherworldly knowledge.
Yeah, that one. I would have kept that with my other belongings. I wouldn't just wear that. So I would go and get it and bring it back.
So you go and retrieve it.
Yeah, so I just prop up the head on the glove, and then invoke the magic.
So what questions do you want to ask?
The first thing I would guess I would ask is, what was the method of your death?
And you see the head is just sort of leaning to whatever side the body happens to be positioned in, but it slowly moves up and the eyes open. The eyes are, in this particular head, are gone, so it's just dark sockets that seem to be looking back at you, but obviously it is sightless. And the mouth opens and you hear a croak and water begins to pour out of its mouth. And this particular, it's a woman's body, a female elf, says, "The cold, killed by cold." And then the head lolls back again.
I think, how many questions do I get? 2, 3, or 5?
5, I think.
Yeah, 5 questions. If anybody has ideas, let me know.
What was the last thing she saw?
I'll repeat the question to it.
It just reminds me of Sigourney Weaver in I have one job.
Job on this ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it.
And the head again moves back up. The woman responds to the question. I was walking down the street when blackness appeared in front of me. It rolled forward, and then the cold.
What? There are no streets out here. This elf is trying to trick us.
She was teleported. That's like significant.
Zarius, what's the name of that town that got wiped off the face of the map?
I don't remember.
It's on the.
I
It is on the actual map. Roll 20.
Which one was that?
Harnma.
If you even care to bother to look, you see it right there.
Right. Spend all this time making a fucking map.
You gotta put on there though. You gotta
Big
alter the
fucking
map and
hole.
just say gone.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess I'll ask, where are you from?
And the head comes back up. I am from the Eastern Empire, from the city of Harnma.
T-Hole, you just guessed that.
perhaps that sphere of annihilation teleported their bodies or the city here.
It does not seem the way it works.
Right. Annihilation. That means like gone. Not like moved.
We have one more question. but I think we know everything we need.
Well, maybe like we could at least know her name.
Do you have any dying wishes?
The head doesn't respond to that question. And you can see the magic begins to fade.
Now we'll never know her name.
She looks like a brandy.
Is an elf corpse. That is what we shall name her.
So, like, what do we do now? I mean, you guys are the Colossus and the Deadpools. You gotta have a plan, right? You deal with this kind of shit all the time.
In this case, it is already done.
But why, like, Harnma? That's like far. And so, what happens? This happens somewhere else. Does it come here then? Or does it go somewhere else?
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
Well,
I
like,
think
if this happened, is it going to happen again? Are all these people from the same place, or is there like more than one place?
And when you asked that, the captain and Daggerface were standing distance away from you. Captain calls out and yells for Bob to come over. So Bob goes waddling off.
Because, like, think about it. This is just one person. Like, and she's from that place that you said got,
Taken from the
something
map.
happened. And then, but we don't know if all these people are from that same place. Oh, there could be more.
Might be worth sending Bob into the water to see.
And you hear a splash as Bob jumps over the railing into the water.
He may need backup, and I splash into the water as well.
I am not going into the water.
Yeah, I think I saw that about you in the book. Like, it reacts with your skin or something. It, like, or is it like you start multiplying?
Yes.
He thinks you're a gremlin.
There, I have updated the map. So, Nala, when you dive into the water, are you wearing armor?
Yes, I'm wearing
What-
medium. I'm using my my bestial soul ability though, the swimming speed one,
Okay, how does that just gives you a swimming speed?
and breathing underwater.
Okay. So when you dive into the water, you don't see Bob. I mean, it's not actually, it is very close to you basically have to dive between two bodies to dive into the water. The bodies are that close. You know, if this were on land, you could probably jump from body to body and not actually touch the ground beneath them. But Bob doesn't resurface. So when you stick your head below water, you can see dimly it because it's overcast, it's not brightly lit, and the bodies are creating shadow. But you could see Bob's flippery feet as he seems to be swimming straight down.
I wouldn't go that deep. I'd say pretty close to the surface. I can't really see that far down anyway, so.
Axius would wander over to Daggerface. Daggerface, what's Bob doing?
We wanted to make sure that there wasn't something on the bottom of this stretch of the sea. At least to see how deep the bodies went and if there is something down below that might be causing this.
Smart.
But a few minutes later, Nala first, you see Bob swimming back up. Bob can swim at a pretty prodigious speed, and he comes rocketing up between two bodies out of the water with getting enough height on his swimming to land back on the deck of the boat in the middle where it's only about 10 feet above the water. And he goes wet and dripping back over to Daggerface. You can see Bob is kind of holding his arms out a bit. He is covered in the blood of all of these dead bodies is leaking into the water. So he is feeling a little extra slick with it. And Bob says, there is a city beneath us that appears to be not terribly ancient. It is not an underwater city. It is an air city. It is ruined and in a state of great devastation. There are also Sahuagin. I believe they are feeding on some of the bodies. We should take care.
Whoa.
And with that, the captain yells for all hands to come up on deck. At least all of Daggerface's men.
Yeah, Nala would, I guess, climb her way back up. Is there like a ladder, like a rope ladder on the side of the ship she could just climb up from?
There is one. I'll assume you kicked it down before you dove in.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'll just use that to get back up.
So, I mean, it wouldn't be a rope ladder. It would be, they usually have nets that get lowered along the side of the boat.
Oh,
So
okay.
You climb up one of the nets on the side. And Captain Familios yells to everyone, we need to be ready. There are Sahuagin nearby. They may prefer the taste of fresher meat than they've been getting, although hopefully they are sated given the number of bodies in the water. And the ship continues to, this whole time, the ship has continued to press forward. After about 10 minutes, you begin to see in the distance what looks like a light hovering above the surface. It's hard to say how far away it is, but it's several degrees off of the surface of the water. But it's deep, deep, deep in the fog. It's almost like a lighthouse. But so far as you know, there shouldn't be any islands out this deep into the Athmere.
Same day.
Yeah, this is just 10 minutes after Bob got back on board.
Well, that's good because that's how long it takes to put armor on.
Does it look like far off Like far.
Yeah,
far off?
it's still pretty far off, you would guess. And to some degree, it depends on, how big is it and how far away is it? But it is penetrating the fog. And it's like I said, it's a few degrees above the surface of the water. If it's 100 feet above the water, then it's a pretty far distance away. If it's only 20 feet off the surface of the water, it's reasonably close. But with that, you feel the ship begins, the ship rocks to one side suddenly as you see a clawed fist come up over the side on one end. We can roll initiative.
As soon as there was a chance of combat, I'm like, yeah, well, guess it's time to put that damn armor on. It's a good thing I did.
My browser is not like. Oh, there we go.
Black screen.
I got no sight.
Yeah.
I don't have a token.
Oh, I didn't pull it.
Did I ever send you my token?
Is it attached to your character sheet? I don't believe you did. Send me
Okay,
your token.
let me send you my token then.
And I didn't actually mean to not have light on this map, but I probably inadvertently set it that way. Daylight mode. Oh, dynamic lighting is off.
Oh, there we go.
I don't know why I had to turn dynamic lighting on. Because it's on
and
your
it's gone.
cards. Is it? I didn't
Yeah,
change
it's gone
anything
again. Oh.
I could see.
Oh, what the hell?
I can also see, or I saw before though.
Maybe I have to do a refresh. Hang on, give me a sec.
I don't see a combat tracker.
Right, I haven't pulled it up yet.
Oh, okay.
So we'll use this one for now, Kurt. I'm sending you in an email.
Okay.
Christ, when are they so big?
Dire Sahuagin.
Oh, damn it. Just keeps keeps freezing.
Maybe your browser isn't liking
You might not like the fog.
Yeah.
Let me get rid of
I
the
know.
fog.
Fog's pretty cool though.
I like the fog, yeah.
I saw it for a second there and then it just disappeared. I don't
Okay,
know what
well,
steel is.
I know
so
sometimes
you tried refreshing?
Yeah, I'm refreshing now. It still says it's loading. I can't even get my character sheet up anymore.
Why does your computer suck?
I've got a really good computer too. This is
have you
not a
have you
cheap
checked
one.
have you checked it for snakes recently?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Spiders
Make sure
hatching
that-
in there.
Or the mice. The mice have gotten into it.
Oh no, the mice have made their way up.
Or those giant
Right,
wettas?
so I got the character sheet. I've got no map. Oh, damn it.
Yeah, I tried reloading. Mine's still loading.
Also, Kurt, you have Axios and backup characters.
Yeah, I haven't pulled them out yet. I'll
Yeah.
do that. Axios doesn't look like his picture at all.
Yeah, it's a temporary one.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't see anything. Mine's black.
Whoa.
Yeah, Axios was pretty big. Uh,
You can try using like Internet Explorer or in Microsoft Edge or whatever they call it. See if that works. Because my Chrome's not working.
It just might be the fog. I've done foggy maps, and they take a toll on people's computers.
So I will delete the fog, cool as it may be.
Yeah, I saw it for a moment. It was like moving and stuff. It looked really cool, and then it just black.
Let's see if that helps.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
See if you can reload.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, I can roll initiative now.
How's your computer doing, Peter?
I tried reloading it. Still loading right now.
Because this map looks busier than it actually is. All of those bodies are just part of the picture. That would slow it down. If these were all individually placed tokens for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Mine's just a black screen.
You know, it might, if yours is black screen, it might be just setting the vision on the token. That's something I always have to remember.
Oh, what do you know? Vision off.
Okay.
Did that work?
Yep.
Well, there you go. I didn't bother setting vision on Brendan's token either.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, there we go. I can see things. Woo!
Okay, so it wasn't the fog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fog back on.
Yes,
Fog it up.
bring back the fog.
Let me see if I can find the fog. Because I deleted it.
Oh, maybe you could just Control Z. Get it back.
Maybe. There you go.
There you go.
Yep.
Hey, there it is. Nice.
Cool.
All right, hang on. I need to roll initiative. Bang.
Oh, what do you know? It brought it back on the wrong layer. Did Aurelia roll initiative?
No, not yet. I'm doing that right now.
It's weird. I can see T-Hole's hit points, but I can't see anyone else's. I can see Daggerface's nameplate, but I can't see anyone else's. Interesting.
What do you mean?
Loaded.
It's probably just a setting on the token.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should probably share this for when I watch it again.
Oh, wow.
So T-Hole, you get to go first.
Teal's going to use his bonus action and spend 2 Kai points to summon his arms and his visage. Actually 3 Kai points. 2 3 Kai points to get those going. And he's going to so is the one that I see coming up over the side this one?
Yes. Although now that he is, you can see there are other things that are beginning to move in the water beyond. But the giant hand that slammed onto the deck is that one.
Yeah, no. T-Hole is not a ranged character, so he's gonna go over to this up to where he's coming up and attack with his arms.
Okay.
Both 29 and 28.
Those hit.
And this would be radiant damage. If it matters. And then his bonus action was summoning, so that is going to be his turn.
Okay. Aurelia.
Crap. So I see something coming up over the edge.
Yes.
Okay.
That T-hole has engaged with. And then you can see other shark-like faces of some sort of humanoid poking up. You can also see actual sharks in the water.
All right, I'm going to hit it with the Dissonant Whispers. Come on.
So you're hitting the big one that's trying to climb up
Yep,
the side of the boat.
Yep, as long as it can hear me.
Yep. So it fails. So it uses its reaction to run, dropping back into the water and swimming away.
That means we get a reaction to hit it, right?
Right. 2 of you do. The ones who are right next to it. Zarius and T-hole can take a swing.
Let's see. Make sure I got the right one here. No.
T-hole rolling.
I don't think he's here, is he?
Yeah, he stepped away for a second.
So 14 does not hit.
Sure.
It bounces off it is wearing some kind of light leathery armor. So he can roll when he comes back, but he isn't going to kill it in one hit, I'm sure. So it drops into the water, and rather than swim off, because it's water beneath it and it's a water creature, it really just swims straight down to get away from the dissonant whispers. So for the moment, it just vanishes into the darkness of the water.
I seem kind of close to the edge of the boat, but it looks pretty packed.
It is pretty packed.
I'm assuming I cannot get like into the middle.
I mean, you could push beyond someone. So right now, the middle of the boat is pretty full at the moment. If you pushed, you could get Daggerface to move out of the way. Daggerface looks like he's going to be running to the edge of the ship anyway.
Okay, good.
So just Daggerface. Oop.
What was I making a save for?
You weren't making a save. You were rolling an attack of opportunity against the Sahuagin Baron
Yes.
as he dropped into the water and started to swim down. That hits.
And he would be as he would drop in the water, he'd actually be his speed becomes 0, so I don't know if that means he just starts sinking or what that means in this case. Through sentinel
shit.
feet.
Bloody sentinel, eh? Here it comes.
So that just means he is bobbing at the surface of the water. Actually, I don't know if Sahuagin float. I'll assume they're basically buoyancy neutral. So he at least doesn't disappear. So he's still there. He's just about 10 feet down. Nala, it's your turn.
Sorry, there's like a plane coming. Can you hear that?
Yep.
Yes.
Give me a sec.
Not a plane, it's just one of the spiders.
Right.
Flying a plane.
Flying the plane, yeah.
It is a plane caught in the spider's web.
I think it's eased off. Anyways, I'm going to move to the edge, and even though I can swim and fight, I'm just going to prepare an attack if they come up to the side of the ship over here. And that's pretty much me.
Okay. Baron. Oh, he is going to, I can't see Aurelia. So does he have speed left now or no? I'm blanking on the feet again.
Yeah, it's becomes 0 for the rest of the turn.
So that was technically Aurelia's turn.
Yeah.
And it was Nala's turn, and now it's his turn.
Yeah, so I think he's good.
Is Daggerface injured? Did he take damage and I missed it?
No, I just hadn't updated his thing in a while.
Oh, okay.
So now he disappears beneath the surface of the water. And you're not exactly sure where he's going. It seems as though he swam under the boat. But you, Zarius, you definitely see this. Everyone else make me a perception check. So Axius and T-Hole, as the Sahuagin Baron disappeared, you see all of the sharks that were swimming in the water were more or less swimming randomly, but as he disappeared, they all immediately turned in the direction of this ship and are swimming directly towards it now. And it's Zarius' turn.
Yeah, I didn't really prepare any like crazy good combat spells because we're on the water. I guess I can't see the guy, the one that went under the water.
No, he went under the ship.
Okay. I could try this. That'd be funny. 5, 10. They would get a good portion of them. I'm gonna move here and then cast. Damn it, where'd you go? All right, here we go. Anti-life shell.
Mhm.
So it'll sort of encircle me within 10 feet.
Okay.
So that guy won't be able to get near me. But it also kind of blocks off the ship, like half and half.
Right. I mean, he was, if they stay in the water, they are 10 feet down, so they could get like up to the edge of you, but then up your shell would be above them. So you could still swim under the ship basically, or right up to the side of it.
Right. But anyway, that way, I don't know if T-Hole would want to be in the shell or not.
Oh, that's true. Do you have to choose?
It just says centering you and hedging out creatures other than basically if you're not an undead or a construct, you can't be in it.
Huh.
Okay. So it would push everybody out then, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Get out of here. This is my ship.
Yeah, you can just walk around and make everybody jump overboard.
I can push everybody off. No, you know what? Then that's probably not a great idea right now. I'll just wait. I'll hold an action to Toll the Dead on the guy.
I mean, the way I read it, I am not clear that it pushes everyone within 10 feet of you out. It definitely creates a shell, and people who are outside of it can't move into it. Because it doesn't say, that it moves people the 10 feet. It just says it hedges out people and keeps them from crossing the barrier.
Uh-huh. I don't know. It's that little bit about remaining centered on you and hedging out creatures other than. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I would let you decide now. You could make the official ruling. You could cast it and keep people who are already inside that 10-foot radius inside.
yeah, I feel like that's how I envisioned it originally. So
Right. I am not clear that hedging out means it pushes anybody out.
yeah,
As opposed to blocks them from entering
But if I were to move, it's centered on me, so it would push them.
Right. Like if I plant a hedge, it doesn't push anybody, but it might stop somebody from crossing over the hedge.
Right, but that's part of the spell. If you move so that an affected creature is forced to pass through, then the spell ends. So you couldn't just move around the ship and force people off of it. So that would
Right,
end the spell.
Oh,
That is-
right. Yeah.
So you
Indeed.
would be kind of stuck in place because there's so many people around you.
That's fine. I don't need to move. Here we are. We're making a stand. Just get this ship moving.
So it also means that there's a bunch of people who they're just inside now. They can't cross the barrier.
So we can't get out of the barrier.
You could
If we're
shoot
in it.
out.
You can
Right,
shoot out of it.
shoot out of the barrier, but you
Oh.
can't physically cross it.
Oh, shit.
In any event, now you're outside of it.
Oh, good. Oh, thank fuck. Okay.
Where's the barrier? Who's it got?
You're in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Can people not see the aura?
No.
Nah.
It's on the map. It's on the group map here.
Oh, on the group map.
Oh, the group map.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
I can see
It
it.
used to be super easy to set this so that everybody could see the aura, and now I don't see that setting anymore.
Doesn't the person have to set it up?
Maybe if
the
I do it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
already
is
set.
it?
It's literally
Oh.
already set there.
Aura 1, radius, blah, 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 shape.
Yeah,
blah,
but
blah,
you, but you can't change whether people can see it or not.
No.
Only Kurt can change those permissions.
Right, and I don't see those
Okay.
permission controls anymore because they changed the layout a bit.
There should be 3 dots next to them.
That's all right. It's on the shared map that we.
So, yeah, we can see it on the other map. Yeah. Sorry.
So does that mean T-hole is out of the shell?
Yes, you'd be
Or
out
is
of the
he
shell.
in?
No, you're out of the
Okay.
shells. Stormborn, basically the lieutenant of Daggerface is in it. One of the human fighters and Aurelia is in it. And Zarius, of course. So the Sahuagin, not that one. You see various humanoids begin swimming up into range of the ship. Who do they want to do? No, actually not that one. Several of them launch spears at the red dragonborn at the back of the ship as they move in. And you see a number of them begin to sort of bob up. I'm not actually going to roll, but he's taken a fair bit of damage. The sharks all also begin to move in, although they seem to be sort of swimming now as they get closer in a circle around the ship, almost like they're patrolling, waiting for someone to fall in. Axios.
Okay. So, first thing I'm going to do, Axios begins kind of moving around, waving his hands a bit. There's some like rainbow kind of energy. He takes a hit of his joint and then blows the smoke, and then it mixes with the energy to do this. So what I'm wanting to do, and I'm casting this at 6 levels so that it's, wait a minute, let me just make sure, double check. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to be casting this at 6 levels, so it doesn't require concentration. to create an image of an injured porpoise or whale somewhere around here. With the intention of drawing the sharks, and because I can create smell and taste and everything with that, it's going to have a blood trail. So I'm hoping to draw the sharks with that.
So make me 2 checks, a nature check and an insight check.
Okay. Wait, because I saw that the sharks were heading towards Daggerface after he jumped in, right?
Daggerface hasn't jumped in.
Who jumped
Daggerface
in?
moved. Nobody jumped in.
Someone's jumped in, yeah.
The
Well, wait,
Baron
where's
fell
Daggerface
Sahuagin
then?
ship. Daggerface is here at the edge of the ship.
Oh, I don't see him.
Yeah, I don't see him either.
I inadvertently. He's on the wrong layer too. Just didn't notice.
Because you had that perception check for that me and Zarius for T-hole.
The Sahuagin.
Yeah.
Sahuagin?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Sahuagin.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
you want a nature check, you said?
And an insight check.
Okay. Nature. Insights.
So you don't know that much about the Sahuagin, but your knowledge of just sort of behavior generally, there is no way that these sharks all at the same moment decided to turn and swim towards the ship. So they may not have free will at this point to go after something else.
Okay. So that's good then, because then Axios wouldn't waste the spell doing that. All right, so then instead, let's see. No, don't want it there. I'd probably put it here. Okay, so instead there would be a kind of bolt of light that he like comes off of his finger, and he kind of goes, and it floats over to here, and then there is a flash of dazzling light that is just like an incredibly intense that is just incredibly intense. So what I'm casting this. So I think it's here. So that would affect all of these guys. He would be just out of reach, and he would be just out of reach. But
Never seen that spell before. That's cool.
and it just kind of it bursts in like a blinding sun just above the water, and it just remains there with this intense flash of light that if you look too closely at it, it's just like it will cause you to have a migraine. But for those that are actually captured within, it does much worse.
Okay, so when this one guy is going next, so I'll roll with save now.
Damn.
Oh, I'm sorry, DC 18.
So takes his 40-10. You can roll the 40-10.
Oh, it's already rolled. 23.
23.
23 radiant damage.
Are you doing anything else?
Not at this time. No.
Okay. I guess he needs to get out of here. So he's going to swim out of the area of the sickening radiance. And he's going to shoot somebody, I guess. Oh, he'll shoot the Dragonborn. So the Dragonborn gets hit with a bolt of force and goes flying into the water.
Did this guy save? Did he take damage?
He did take damage.
Okay. And he's got a level of exhaustion too.
Right. That's his turn. Now his
This
buddy,
guy went flying.
yes. And this guy goes flying past T-hole and into the water.
Ooh.
This guy's going to attack Nala, but miss. And I guess he'll also attack Nala, but miss, I assume. What's your AC right now?
That's a hit. That's a hit.
14. So you take 7 force damage, and you bounce off the anti-life shell and ricochet over to here.
Good thing I put this thing up. He would have been flying into me.
This guy swims off. That's their turn. T-hole, back to you.
So
There's
this
a guy.
that was flying-
There's a guy who is now in the water. Sharks circling the boat, and the red dragonborn also went flying off the boat into the water as bolts
But
of
the red
force
dragon-
came from behind you.
Gotcha. And is it 15 feet from where I am to the water, or is it 10 feet?
It's probably it's about so it's 10 feet from the center of the boat, basically, right from where the boat begins to flare out. It's a little bit higher than that, but basically 10 feet from where you are. 11 or 12 feet, probably.
Well, it's important to know because my arms reach 10 feet. So if they're 10 feet down, I would try to do is try to see if I could I haven't actually tried this using my arms as extensions, but try to grab him with them. Normally I just punch things with it. But it
I
would
don't
make
know.
sense after a while you could.
What does it say about your arms? Does it say you can grasp with them, or are they only for punching? You could put him out of his misery. I just don't. I actually don't know. I've never heard of anyone using their astral arms as arms.
It doesn't say you can't.
Okay. If it says that they're arms and it doesn't say you can't use them as arms to be used, then I say you can.
They say they're monk weapons.
Right.
but that
I'm sure
doesn't
that's
mean
true
you
because
can't
it's
use them.
so is your fist,
Yeah.
and you could use your fist. So I am willing
Yeah.
to say you could try to pull this guy out
All right.
with. You could use an athletics check, but use wisdom.
Okay. Let me just. 1, 1d20 plus 4.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
Yeah.
So you hoist him out of the water.
And if I could do it in the same turn, I would attempt to do the same to the red dragonborn. But if that counts as an action, then I would.
Yeah, that would be an action.
Okay, so then, yeah, I am just gonna sit. Oh, that's my turn.
Okay. Aurelia, you are inside this sphere of force.
Can I see any of these creatures in the water, or is it my too high up?
No, you can see them. I mean, you can't see the sharks because they're below the surface of the water and too close, but you could see the ones like at the outer edge, like over here. You probably can't see the ones that are at the back of the boat or at the front of the boat, but over either side you can.
Okay. And I can cast outside of this. My map. Okay. All right. So these guys down. Let's see if I can mark them. Come on. Right there, that guy.
I didn't see who you were indicating. Which guy? Oh, yeah.
I'm going to hit him with Eldritch Blast.
Okay. That hits.
I think I get 3, right? Yeah. This fell right. 2. There's, oh, wow. Holy shit.
One more.
Okay.
And you see as his head explodes.
Good.
Which guy was this? Oh, that one. Nice.
Anything else you're doing?
I'm going to inspire T-Hole.
Woo!
So you, I assume with a song, inspire T-Hole.
Go T-Hole.
So more with a cheer.
Yep.
And it's Nala's turn.
So Nala, very reminiscent of a Hellweir grunt, would make the grunt noise and look around at all the other, like look around at the weird fins popping out of the water. Like I'm guessing the sharks aren't like up, like you can just see the top of their fin, right?
Right.
Or
Well,
are
I
they
mean, if you're
actually
looking,
under?
yeah, you can see their fins as they circle.
Okay. Yeah, cool. And she'd be like, I haven't bested one of these creatures before. And she would I'm gonna rage and use my claws transformation. So my arms will like increase in size noticeably, and her muscles like sort of ripple, and her hands also transform larger, and her nails extend and curl. And she runs and jumps into the water and goes to attack this shark.
Okay. So you dive into the water, make your attack roll. That definitely hits the shark.
And then I hit again.
That also hits the shark. And that's
and-
enough to kill the shark.
Oh,
So
okay, cool.
you rip the shark apart. Its guts go descending into the depths. The body, however, just continues to float next to you, rolling over on its back.
Cool.
Yeah, it does.
And you hear Nala like lift her head out of the water and like howl into the sky, and then she moves on to the next guy and does the same thing.
So the first one misses. Second one hits.
Yep. And he doesn't die, does he?
Nope.
All right, I'll use my infectious fury. So I guess like just in the heat of the rage, like she's sort of just like ripping and tearing into him, and I guess like the reaction of the blood sort of hits him with psychic damage if he saves, and if he doesn't save, so he takes half of 13.
Okay.
And that's it. That's me.
So you gave him a good bloody nose in that sequence of attacks, but he's a little bit above half. So you hear everyone on the ship, and Nala hears the sound. It sounds a lot like splintering wood that is clearly just emanating from the bottom of the ship and being transmitted through the wooden body of the ship itself. And you could feel the ship becomes a little more unsteady. And that's the Sahuagin Barrett's turn. Serious.
Noticing that these other ones aren't, especially hardy, I guess. I'm gonna attempt a divine word.
Okay. The range is 30 feet.
Yeah, I get a decent amount of them here.
Yeah, I get a lot of them. Let's see. Why is your thing also red? Makes it very hard.
Because that's the color I have picked for
There are-
myself.
There are 4 people that have red.
Oh yeah.
Red is their color.
Mine's are bright red.
I have a technically impossible color because pink isn't real.
Okay.
real,
I'm
it's
sure
just not a-
Axios will
just not a
explain this
primary.
later.
In my game world, pink is real. I'm sorry, charisma saves. So many charisma saves. What's the DC? 18?
Yeah.
And let's see. And the effect is different on all of them.
Well, I gotta run to the bathroom right quick, so I'll let you figure that out.
Yeah, actually, it might not be a bad time if people want to take a bathroom break. Because I've got to do this for like a dozen or more than a dozen of these things.
All right, I will be right back.
Uh, not really a good one for deafened.
Blinded, deafened, and stunned. Whew.
I guess that's deafened now. That's one. Next. He actually made it. Oh, another lucky one. He failed.
Wow, you're still making the same.
Yep, still doing it. I'm doing it one by one so that I can apply the conditions right away. He's a range.
And guess what? He's going to cast it again next turn. Woo!
Well, luckily he's deafening a lot of them, so they can't hear him
Uh.
anymore. Other ones.
So if a shark or Sahuagin are stunned, do they sink?
I have ruled that they are basically neutral, so they will stay at whatever level they're at.
Ah.
let's see. So just wait for Tony to come back and he could describe how the spell goes off. But he has pretty effectively incapacitated a lot of them.
What if his verbal component was boo?
Or being Zarius, get off my lawn.
Yeah. Don't mess with Osiris.
That's a pretty good impression. Yeah.
It's a powerful spell though, because it can stun for 1 hour.
Yeah.
Holy
So
crap.
basically the one that's in the sickening radiance is just dead. But, you know, the kill goes to Axios, not to Darius, so.
And that's what matters.
So, but while we wait for him, I will do with the Sahuagin. So a bunch of these guys, it's a wisdom save, the sickening radiance?
Let me redo it so that we can get the damage.
Yep.
Die.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, it's con save DC 18.
That makes sense. So stunned guy fails. But sadly for him, he's just in the water suffering because he's still alive. Second guy. He also fails. Third guy. Fails. Fourth guy. So they all take the same damage. Oh, and the shark is, oh, there's another one. This is the shark.
Yes, fuck all of you.
This one's gonna.
Oh, is that one next to me dead now? Sweet.
Yes. Oh wait, I moved the wrong one. So they are trying to climb up the side of the ship and board, is basically what they're doing. So some of them are going to be able to make it onto the deck. But the anti-life shell makes it hard.
Does
these-
any of them, their exhaustion make it more difficult with that athletics?
That's a fair point. So the ones who were actually in the field probably wouldn't be able to climb up this round. But this guy would. So he is just going to attack the sailor. Oh, that's more than enough. He kills the sailor. And
No.
this guy will attack Daggerface. It actually hits Daggerface. So the Sahuagin are trying to storm the ship, but they're not especially effective at it. And it's Axios's turn.
Let's see.
He is a really brave Sahuagin, by the way. He is on the ship by himself. So, and I should say, as you ponder, you can still hear the whine of twisting metal or twisting wood. I mean,
Mhm.
as the Baron beneath the ship is trying to wedge his trident in between the boards.
With Axios's knowledge of the ship, are there any window ports or anything that might be able to be seen through that? Well, then it would be, couldn't cast through them then. So never mind with that. Yeah, I can't see that guy, so that makes it difficult. All right. Axios was hoping to build up to this ability, but I guess he might as well use his signature spell. So Axios begins once again. He pulls a vial of some strange ink-like substance from his pocket, and as he does, the brilliant radiance winks out. He opens the vial, and then this ink kind of goes along his arm. He brings his fingers together, it spreads to his other arm, and then his shadow actually mixes with this ink, and a violent demonic shadow springs forth from Axios, targeting this guy. And then, wait, where's my character sheet? Why is it like that? So first of all, here's the spell. Oh, it didn't show the spell. That's lame.
You can click show spell description, it will show the spell.
Oh, so there. So, and then 2 more targets within 30 feet. So it's going to hit him and then leap to this guy and this guy.
Okay.
It's another crazy spell I've never seen before.
Well, that one's I don't know, bro.
Do they take half damage if they make it?
Yeah, half damage.
So this guy dies immediately, the first one. The second guy is still up. This guy in the water is well and truly dead. So you could describe, how does this kill them?
So actually the shadow springs out like a 2D figure and with these like praying mantis like claws plunges into their shadows and suddenly wherever the shadow is pierced the in their real body the analogous point like bursts with like blood spewing forth and causing immediate death. And also everybody notices that the area immediately around Axius is now darker, as if his body is actually absorbing the ambient light around him. And this energy is still being like wielded, and his shadow is still like it's closer, it's retracted to him now, but now it's still along the floorboards where his shadow is cast, it's still kind of moving in this demonic form.
So now that Zarius is back, your spell killed one of them outright and basically incapacitated a large number of them. But describe what the spell looks like when it takes effect.
I imagine, honestly, just speaking out in almost like tongues, I guess. But not really tongues. I'm just speaking Draconic. But it's
I
imbued
recently
with a-
saw people actually speaking in tongues and realized that I never understood what that meant. I thought it was like you could speak languages you didn't know.
Yeah.
Instead,
Right.
it's just people babbling like infants.
Yeah.
Whoa. That's so insightful. Wow.
That's the thing. And apparently the people who do this think it is like a really deep experience.
Yeah.
Because they think like the Holy Spirit is communicating
Speaking through
something.
them. Yeah.
Right.
Lord Baelish.
And
It's entering their butthole.
right, apparently the Holy Spirit is a gibbering idiot.
No, you just
Some of
don't
the things I've
understand
seen.
him. God.
Yeah, they're supposed to, like, it'll be the best day ever when the Holy Spirit also has present an interpreter. But they're never
That
together
was-
at the same time, so
Right. I did not go into it, but the Bible actually does say that if you are going to speak in tongues, have an interpreter present, because if a non-Christian is in the audience, he will think you look like a moron.
right.
Thank you, Bible.
Okay,
So
thanks, Paul. Nobody's following your advice though. Instead, it's all just manabadabadadu.
Whoa.
so I'm just speaking Draconic, however, and it's just words that are imbued with power.
What words?
Yes.
Kurt,
Speak
you just
actual
heard Kurt
Draconic.
say it.
So yeah, I would say like there is, like you could feel the ship lift up slightly and then lower down into the water with just from the weight of the words themselves, and a ring of waves extends outward from the ship. You could see that a large number of these things are now variously blinded or blinded and stunned.
One of them
Hard to
just
see
keels
that they're
over.
deafened. But it's good because deafen will prevent you from casting the spell again and killing them.
I couldn't cast it again anyways. You only get one level 7 for a long time.
So now it's the shark's turn. So this shark is just going to die. There's nothing it can do.
Well, that the sickening radiance ended once I casted the new spell.
Okay. So instead, the shark gets to live on, blinded and stunned, exhausted. But if you swim right up to it and touch it, it will try to bite you, boy. These sharks are all in the same boat. They're all blinded and deafened and stunned. This one, however, is not. So it will attack the Dragonborn.
Oh,
That's not good for the Dragonborn. So you hear there is a gargle and a scream in the water as the shark has latched onto the Dragonborn.
Oh damn! The
Oh,
Dragonborn weak ass.
Well, I mean, these are not intended to be like level 13 companions. These are just
Yeah.
the people following Daggerface around. So the Sahuagin warlocks, one of them is stunned. One of them is blinded, but not stunned. So he is going to just beat a hasty retreat underwater, not wanting to be killed.
Smart.
But the one actually, a couple of these things actually made their saves randomly.
Sons of bitches.
Is he smart enough to do that? Yeah, he's going to swim back a bit, and then he's still in range. He's going to take a shot at T-hole. I assume that misses.
And yes, it misses.
And then he is going to swim down because he realizes being at the surface of the water is not serving them so well. That's it for them. T-hole, it's your turn.
Teal's gonna move through, step over the body of this dead fellow here, and actually over this dead one. And this guy is a good 10 feet down, right, and 5 feet out. So how? But there are people on the boat, but I can't reach them because I'm outside the sphere.
Right. I mean, technically, I would say you could squeeze along this path to get to the other side, but there's a Sahuagin in your way.
Let's see. Could I? Well, if I went here, could I would be within. Would I be within range? Like punching around to hit the Sahuagin?
If you were standing
with
there,
my-
sure, you'd be within 10 feet.
Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a reach around punch and hit the Sahuagin.
I just move you to the front, over top of that guy. I have to check his AC actually. Yeah, you hit him. You hit him, and he's looking like he's in pretty bad shape. The second shot, however, kills him, and he goes splashing into the water after bouncing off the shield.
And then I'm gonna use the rest of my movement to scurry past next to this guy.
Dagger face.
Yeah. Is that Daggerface?
It is.
I thought it was a hostile because I had a red thing. Yeah, I'll actually, this is Daggerface. I probably won't go next to him. I'll just stay here.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he would treat you as a hostile. So yeah.
I don't want to be anywhere near where Daggerface is swinging his axe.
Into the water.
That'll be my.
Especially when there's a force field there that he can bounce me off of. No, thank you.
Okay, Aurelia, what are you doing?
Let's see. So the Sahuagin that is like, I guess, is he below the bubble here?
Which one?
Hold on here. That guy?
Yeah, this one is below the bubble. He's in the water.
But I probably can't see him.
No, not from where you are.
Okay. But I can probably see that guy.
Sure.
Okay. So I will use Eldritch Blast on him. Ooh, boy, look at that.
He survives. He still survives.
Gosh.
And with the third shot, you actually managed to kill him. He was pretty badly wounded. You hit him twice and he thought, whew, I survived. I lived. And then third shot took him out. Anything else you're doing?
No, that's it.
Nala.
All right. Nala's gonna look under the water. Can she see the Baron?
Yes, you can see him. He is essentially spread out, like laying under the ship. You can see he's got his trident in one hand and he's got it thrust in between, you assume in between two planks at the bottom of the ship. And he is trying to lever the thing open.
Okay. I'm gonna like duck under the water and swim towards him and go to start attacking him with my claws. Let's go. 1, 2. And then I'll use my extra attack and hit him some more. 1, 2. And then I will use my bonus attack to hit him once more. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Give me them crits. And
Well, your
how's he
bonus
looking?
action attack, you can't, unless you have the 2-weapon fighting feat, you can't
I
add your
do.
strength modifier. Okay.
I do, yeah. And then I'm going to use Action Surge and do this all over again. Well, not all of it, but just these two.
Okay.
And I just imagine like there's bubbles like starting to surface after all like the repeated just slashing and dashing down here.
I'm just going to move you so that you can sort of see how this is laid out without putting it. I can't put it under the ship, really.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I get it.
So, put you like you're ahead of the ship. Technically, you are both under the water in the darkness. There's a little bit of light from the sun, but it's dim light outside to begin with. So you've hit him, but he is he's probably not at half yet.
That's cool. We're good. Just All right, that's me.
Yeah, he will. Are you injured at all, or no?
No. Oh, actually, I took that Eldritch Blast on the surface.
Okay, good for him. I mean,
Okay.
because if you're not at full hit points, he has advantage on all of his melee attack rolls
Let's go.
because of Blood Frenzy.
When do I get that?
So as you lay into him, he yanks his trident out of the boat and swings it at you. That's one, but he has advantage.
Ouch. Oh, it's piercing. We're good. He hasn't. It's
Should
not a
have
magical
attacked
weapon.
recklessly because
Oh,
then
it would've
he'd
been
have
double
advantage
advantage.
anyways,
That's true. Oh well. Next time.
and you would have had at least 2 crits.
So that first one is 18.
Okay.
Second one is 11, and then he bites you or tries to bite you. And all of you see the sharks all sort of weakly begin to swim under the boat, but they're all sort of the ones actually they're all stunned, so most of them can't. But the one shark that was digging in to the red dragonborn immediately swims under the boat and approaches you. That's his turn. Sarius.
Are any of these guys who all's been hit that I can tell that that I can see? Any of them?
What do you of the enemies?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see who's wounded and still alive. This guy's wounded and still alive, but he is stunned. This guy here.
Okay.
This guy looks to have somehow avoided everything.
The fucking dragonborn. Like, would I be able to spare the dying on him?
He is dead. The shark continued to chew down on him.
God damn it.
Now you'll have 2 corpses to drag around.
Couldn't he just be mauled to death, like just into pieces?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, this battle is almost over because most everyone who's left, except for this one guy, is stunned for the next hour. So
yes, I'm not.
Well,
I'm
there's
not
also
concerned
one
about
guy
them,
who's behind, like under the sea. That
right.
Right.
I can't see
Right,
him, so
it's the Baron and this one random Sahuagin and one shark that are still actually in play. But the Baron does technically have the ability to sink the ship if somebody doesn't take care of him.
So I'll just sacred flame this guy because he hasn't been hit, right?
Right. That's true. There was one of the warlocks dove under the water, so you don't know where he is either. He shot a T-hole and then went under the water. Let's see. Well, now he's been hit.
Definitely failed. Yeah.
Why did you use Sacred Flame instead Toll the Dead?
Because he has been hit.
Wow. Smart.
Anything else you're doing?
Nah. Oh wait, yeah, this one was underwater.
Oh, I missed him because I forgot he was under there. Yeah, he is also injured. So maybe you would have gone after him instead.
Yeah.
So instead of wounding this guy, put him back. You killed this guy
Look at that
outright.
same damage.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. He failed because the first guy failed. I'm not giving him a second bite at the apple.
Still find it amusing that I rolled the same damage.
So this Sahuagin is going to. He disappears under the surface of the water, swimming towards the ship. Actually, he would come up on this side of Nala. An attack with a spear. And then try to bite you. But miss. Axios.
So, maintaining my concentration on Umbral Bolt, if I were to go into the water, do I still need to make the same verbal components to cast it? Or is repeating the action not require the same components?
I mean, so does Umbra Bolt just let you switch targets? On
Well,
one
I
casting?
can, as an action, I can repeat the attack for the duration of the spell.
I would say that you probably that it's probably more a matter of just maintaining concentration without
Okay.
verbalizing something new.
Yeah, because in that sense, it's kind of like vampiric touch, where you could just continue to make the attack.
Right, or like moving a hunter's mark or anything like that.
Okay. So then,
Or witch bolt.
knowing that the giant Sahuagin Baron was like wrecking the ship, Axios would leap overboard and dive down under, holding his breath as best he can. Would he be able to see what's going on over here?
Yeah, you can see him. I mean, it is a bunch of dim black shapes, but he's the giant dim black shape.
Okay. So then, I would definitely target him. Would I be able to differentiate these guys?
I would say you probably can see the shark, probably not the Sahuagin on the far side of you.
Okay.
Because
So
you'd be
that-
about like here.
All right. So then I would definitely hit these two with the Umbral Bolt. So we cast that. Of course.
You killed the shark.
Oh, there we go. That's something.
So he killed the left shark.
He still takes half damage at least.
Yep, you took it.
And it's already dim light here.
Yes.
So I'm then in complete non-magical darkness.
Okay.
Within 10 feet of me. And I'm holding my breath. So let's see how long I can hold my breath for. What are your rules for that, Kurt? Oh, why did I do that?
I don't have separate rules for that. So I believe it's you take your so you basically you can try to hold your breath. I guess I do sort of impose checks depending on what it is you're doing. But if you're not being like hit, you can basically hold your breath for your con modifier number of minutes.
So what if my con modifier is 0?
Then you can hold your breath for 30 seconds is the rule.
Okay.
After that, you essentially, if your con modifier is 0, I believe you immediately die.
avoid that then.
I think the base rule is con mod +1 minutes. And then you start dying. So you start making your checks.
Let me see.
I had to kill a character by suffocating them once. So I buried her alive.
Yeah, the AC was a little too high, was it?
Yeah, there was a fucking monk. A monk with max dex and wisdom.
You're right. It's one. It's. I was misremembering. It's 1 plus your Constitution modifier, minimum of 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then when a creature runs out of breath, it can survive for a number of rounds equal to its con modifier, minimum of 1 round. At that point, you are at 0 hit points and dying.
So I have 2 rounds. That was 1 round.
Right. Well, no. So you dove in and
Got the
you're
minute.
holding your breath. So you have 1 minute. If your con modifier is 0.
Oh, okay. 1 minute.
You have 1 minute, so 10 rounds. And then you have 1 additional round, or you are reduced to 0 hit points.
Assuming I don't get hit, because if I get hit,
Right.
shit's
If you get
different.
hit, I will require a cons check to see if you can continue to hold the breath in.
Yeah. For my character, with I would even not be surprised if that was a disadvantage. Just all things considered, he is not hardy.
Those bung lungs from smoking too much.
So the reef sharks are all basically gone. They're out of the fight now. This one Sahuagin warlock, he is going to. Oh, he has to defend his Baron. So he is going to swim over. Right now, he doesn't know what's going on. So he is going to just see something. He's going to swim right up to Nala then. You see in his hand, there is forming from the water around it. You could see is a blade of just water. It's not ice. It's just highly compressed water that seems to be forming magically in his hand, which he swings at you. Find it.
Oh shit.
Okay,
But he
we're
misses.
good. Thank fuck.
He's got a handheld hydraulic drill.
And then he is going to try to bite you.
Oh, you little bugger.
Or anything else? Yeah, you also see that now that you're up close to him, he does have like a layer of ice covering his body.
Oh.
But that's his turn. T-hole.
Teal isn't within striking range of anybody. And he's not high enough level yet to run on water.
Well, everybody that's fighting right now is below the water.
Yeah. But Teal doesn't want to jump into a water full of dead bodies.
Oh yeah, I forgot about all
It's
the
not very
bodies.
emperor-like.
Yeah, that's not about that life. Teal's gonna scooch around and glide past Daggerface and stand at the prow of the ship. And
Your face gets an attack of opportunity. Now you can do that.
And I'm gonna hold my action for when a Sahuagin boards if a Sahuagin boards the ship. Any of them.
Okay. Aurelia. Things are actually eerily quiet now. You can hear the sort of normal sounds of the ship in the water.
Hmm. Let's see. Is that guy still alive?
Yes, he is stunned.
Okay. Um,
Everything you can see, I mean, they're there, but everything that's above water right now is stunned and deafened and blind.
all right, I'm gonna blast him with Eldritch Blast.
Oh yeah.
Is stun?
Definitely hits.
Okay.
I mean, you have advantage on your attacks, but
Okay.
I'm really just looking to see what damage you do. I'm assuming you can hit.
Oh, nice.
So that is enough to kill this one.
All right. And then I'll just move up to the one to the left and shoot the last one at that one.
That's enough to kill that one. Nala.
Pew! Headshot. Pew! Headshot.
Yeah. Really racking up them kills.
This is It's the first time I ever thought, and I'm definitely going to do this someday. My warlock's not actually going to like shoot a bolt of force. He's just going to crush people's heads.
Hell yeah. All right, so Nala's going to attack recklessly against the Baron. So these two attacks are at advantage because it's a weird mechanic where you get 2 free hits, the two in one action.
Both of those hit.
Yeah, and I'm gonna use my infectious fury on one of them. So the Baron has to hang on. Give me a infectious fury. He has to save a DC 17, or I'm gonna make him use his reaction to attack one of the that dude next to him. Yeah, nice. So he has to attack the guy standing next to me.
Okay. So it's just one of his melee attacks.
Yeah, just one. Yeah.
So he claws at the guy next to him, which hits. And then I have to actually check. I got this right. How much damage does he take?
Oh, this is sweet.
So he takes a little more damage from the cold. And this guy's temporary hit points are gone. So you see the ice that was encasing this Sahuagin begins to break up, sublimating into water until just a sheet of bubbles comes off of him. And then it's gone.
Cool. Nala's just going to keep on attacking. Let's see how we go. More claws. These ones are just normal hits. Ooh.
Well, you're attacking recklessly, right?
Yeah,
Oh
it's
no,
all,
no, it only works on the first attack, attacking recklessly.
no, it doesn't.
You sure?
Every attack all
It's
around.
it's every time, every attack
Oh.
for that turn.
When you make your first attack on your turn, you can decide to
you
attack
decide.
recklessly.
You decide when
Oh,
your
okay,
first attack.
gotcha. Big brain. Okay, sweet. Oh, well then that's good. Hell
Yeah, it's 2
This
crits.
is really good. And then again use infectious fury. So let's see if he makes a save again.
I'm just adding up the damage.
Yeah.
Your crit should be more than that, by the way.
Yeah, they should be, right? Yeah, I gotta fix that up. They're
It should
like
be 23.
I remember reading your rules on it, and it's like
Yeah, I just double the. I basically you take the base maximum damage and add it to whatever you actually roll.
yeah.
But I double all of the modifiers just because it seems easier to do it that way, and it makes them especially brutal. So it should be 23 basically, plus your sorry, it should be 13 because you're raging plus your actual base damage. But I see you just weren't adding in the 3 from the rage, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's just there above it. Yeah.
Okay, and now he has to make a save.
Yeah, he has to make a
Wisdom
wisdom
save.
save. Yeah.
So
Cool.
same
And he'll
guy, I
just
assume.
yeah, no, he can't attack because he had to use his reaction to attack. So now I'll just do like the 2d12 damage, which is 8.
Okay.
And bonus action, I'm gonna use second wind just to top me up a little bit. Minus the rage, obviously. So just 9 hit points.
Okay. That's
Alright.
his turn. Well, his ability to control sharks isn't useful anymore. But he's going to attack you with his trident and bite.
Good thing all that's halved.
I know, right?
He has advantage. He just can't get the multiple
I get the
crits back to
crit.
back the way you guys.
Yeah. I'm champion, so it's like reduced by 1 as well, so it's a little bit easier.
But that's his turn. Zarius.
So there's nothing left happening on the surface here, right?
Right. There's a bunch of stunned sharks. There's like 1 stunned Sahuagin over here.
I'm not too concerned about that. So I guess can I move below decks
Yes.
and see if I can get to wherever the hole is? And
Well, you can
assess
get down.
that?
So there's 2 decks below the main deck.
Yeah.
Below that, there is like a storage and ballast area that is essentially up against the hull of the ship. But you know, it is filled with ballast and some provisions.
Well, all right. So I mean, I it sounded like the ship was being torn into, so I want to go and try and see that, and assess it, and maybe, just maybe, for the first time ever, the cantrip mending gets used.
No way.
So down inside the hold of the ship, you do see the area. You don't see that you're taking on any water, and you don't hear the warping of wood anymore. So whatever damage he's been doing, it's to the outside so far, and he's not managed to poke a hole in the ship.
Alrighty. Sounds good. I mean, I don't imagine. Maybe I can get back up. It's a small ship. I also imagine my stuff would have gone away as I moved through this.
Which stuff would have gone away?
My the anti-life shell.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. It would have gone away, yeah, when you started to move, because you would have
Yeah.
had to have moved into people to get.
That seems okay at the moment, so I'm all right with that.
Okay. The one Sahuagin is going to, I guess, attack Nala. Miss. There you go. Finally, someone on the enemy side got a crit. So that is
How much is that? Yeah.
10 damage.
Cool.
It is his maximum possible damage.
So 10 minus 5 because it's piercing. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Oh boy.
And it's Axios' turn.
First, I want to just say that I feel like Aurelia is kind of like Leonidas during that one scene in 300 where he's just like stabbing people. Like, we don't want to be uncivilized. Shh. I'm going to repeat my attack with the Umbral Bolt. And only this guy, because I can't make out the different forms from the others.
Failed that time.
I'm also gonna try to swim back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably useless for a creature that can actually swim. So, and that's my turn. And now I'm 2 rounds of no breathing.
Okay. The warlock. So you're completely encased in darkness.
Yeah.
Can't really swim away though without taking some attack of opportunity from Nala. So the warlock is going to, I guess, just attack normally.
It is natural darkness, so if they have dark vision, they'd be able to see through it.
Right. So first it attacks with its watery sword.
Ooh.
You have to make a con save.
Okay.
But you made it. He takes 12 slashing, but you're not choking on the water. And then it will try
How
to
does
bite
that-
you.
Sorry, how would that work if I have underwater breathing?
I don't know. Let's hope that doesn't come up.
All right.
It is a Sahuagin warlock thing, though.
Yeah. Is that rounded up or
I'll be,
down?
you round down, so you would take 2 piercing. I mean, it is a magical effect, so I would tend to think that it's like this thing's it's one of its little warlock invocations. So I would say you probably can still choke,
Yeah, that makes sense.
but that's its turn. Bob dives into the water at this point and swims up. But does not hit him. T-hole.
Teal's not really doing much right now.
They're just holding your action then.
Either that, or I guess it could go into the water.
Come on in. The water's
Dirty.
fine.
Dirty water.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's a little slick with corpse poo, but I mean,
he doesn't really know Axios and Nala all that well yet, so he's not like, oh, I'm gonna go jump in and save him, you know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna hold my action again.
That's true. From
uh,
I hadn't considered that, but from Teal's perspective, it's like all the important people survived.
Pretty much, yeah.
Now, like, if they look like they were like dying, you know, that'd be a different thing. But I think he'll hold his action for this turn.
if there weren't the corpses in the water, I can almost see T-Hole just jumping in to punch sharks for free.
So
Pretty
Aurelia,
much.
are you gonna try to kill this last guy, this last one of the Sahuagin you can see?
Hell yeah.
That hits. So he's relatively hardy because he's still up. But you have another one. Yeah, he is barely alive, but alive. And Nala.
Okay. Time to attack. I'm attacking it recklessly.
Yep.
Here we go. 1, 2. I'm gonna use the bestial, what is it, infectious fury again. If he fails, I'll get him to attack this guy here. Oh, he doesn't. All right. Well, nothing happens, I think. Yeah.
Oh, he is looking pretty bad now.
Well, there's 2 more attacks coming his way. Bang and bang.
Do they both hit?
And then 1 more bonus attack.
He's looking very bad at this point.
That's me.
He is going to disengage and swim lower. Straight down. Let me see what his swim speed is. There. Very fast, in fact, he swims down.
Yeah, man.
So he is 50 feet lower than you now.
But still visible.
Barely visible, as it's very dark where he is.
Perfect. Barely visible, still visible.
Zarius is on deck.
I mean, do I
Anything?
see anything?
Bunch of stunned and blinded sharks.
Then I've got nothing to do here.
The one Sahuagin, seeing that his leader has left, is also going to disengage and dive. And it's Axios' turn.
When that second one dives, is it pretty clear that that's a Sahuagin? Or is it still difficult to tell from where I am?
You can tell that it's it's one of them.
Perfect. All right. So
And you can see the warlock now clearly as well.
well, that one's a little less important because the range is 150 feet, but each of the secondary targets have to be within 30 feet. So, bam. So those 2 guys, this guy and this guy, You make con saves. Dexterity saves, actually. Sorry.
So the Sahuagin has 1 hit point left. He will survive. Oh, he killed the Baron, though. Baron is pierced by these shadows, and you see his body just stops moving.
So I like
Stops
to think of
dead.
it. I like to think that because the shadow is much deeper in the water, the effect is much more powerful. So as Axius raises his hands to there, it's like numerous demonic shadows just like it's like a swarm of sharks just digging into the guy and piercing him in all directions until he just stops moving.
I mean, he was swimming along, and then this happens, and he immediately stops. The only thing that seems to happen, it's almost as if he just decided to stop after getting hit that many times. But his trident slips from his grasp and starts to sink.
So I just have to make sure. So I'm just going to use an action point to do it again, and also target this other guy with the 1 hit point. So
He is 2 days from retirement, man.
See, I don't even need to roll, because even if there's no way I could roll less than a.
He failed.
Yeah.
So he thought he was going to make it. And then the world just goes black for him. So he doesn't at least know that he failed to survive.
And then with that, Axius is done holding his breath. He's surprised that he's lasted this long, so he starts struggling to get back up to the surface, dropping the concentration on the spell in the process.
Okay. This guy. That won't work. You see, he begins to make a series of intricate hand motions, and he is casting a spell. And behind Nala, a pit of blackness begins to open up and is clearly centered just far enough behind you to try to catch you and no one else.
Fair. What do I have to do? A deck save?
It's just a question. Yeah. So if you your turn ends and you're within the area, then you have to do a deck save.
Oh, okay.
I like how, or you take acid damage as milky tentacles rub against you.
Right. So, but he is still in front of you. He's not running at the moment.
Okay.
And Bob will attempt to kill him. Bob will fail. Teal still. You guys are just staring at the twitching sharks.
Yeah, see no reason to intervene.
So Nala, it's your turn.
I guess I can see Bob down here too, yeah. So I would point at his trident and just shake my head, and then I would pull my javelin off my back, and you guys would have seen it before. It's like a javelin which has like a wolf's head at the end of it, and then protruding through the mouth of the wolf is the spike. And I would go to stab this guy with my javelin, and you can hear me trying to howl underneath the water. Well, only Bob can, but this is just for him. And I use my Javelin of the Hunter's Call. Well, it's Javelin of Lightning, but I've renamed it.
Mhm.
And yeah, it does that.
Wait, where did the other guy put the Hunger of Hadar?
On me.
Yeah, it is essentially centered behind him, so it covers these 3 squares: the square to either side of Nala and the square he's in.
Yeah.
So let's see. Used to make a dexterity save. So he made it.
Fair enough. Well, he takes half.
Doing anything else?
Yeah, extra attack if he's not dead. Bang, bang.
Yeah, that's enough to kill him.
Axios is over here right now, I think, right?
So that's it. Other than the twitching sharks, you've killed them.
Cool. You'd see Nala just like swim back to the surface of the boat, and she swims like kind of strangely. She swims like a crocodile will, like so doing that weird wag thing, like left to right, as she comes up to the surface and then climbs onto the boat.
Meanwhile, Axios is like, help! Like, help! Please, like, it's really gross down here.
I mean, Daggerface will run over, hearing the call for help, singing Colossus and the Deadpools continue to be Deadpools. And he pulls a length of rope off of one of the what they're called suddenly, one of the belaying pins, and hurls one end into the water and holds onto the other.
All right. Axios would wrap his hands around the rope and hope that somebody could pull him up, because he's definitely not going to be able to pull himself up.
Yeah, Daggerface is there to pull you up. He's a dwarf, more than strong enough to lift you out of the water. And looking around, you realize that there must be a current, although it's hard to discern. You can, however, see the bodies haven't really changed position so much, and you're sort of in the same position you were relative to the boat, but that light is much higher up from the surface of the water now, and you appear to be a lot closer to it. It does have the look, at least initially, like it might be a lighthouse, but one of the sort of very old-fashioned lighthouses that is essentially just a burning flame atop a tower. The flame itself is bright blue, and you're guessing from the look of it that it might be very large. But in any event, you seem to be sailing in that direction. The captain, after the combat ends, runs back to the rudder, or to the steering wheel, and begins to turn, and discovers that he only has limited mobility in the field of bodies, fighting against the current that's pulling you on. Eventually, the bodies just stop. It's like a hard line where there are no more bodies beyond a certain point, or at least there are very few beyond that certain point. And you realize that there seems to be some in front of you. You can see through the fog dimly a gigantic statue of what appears to be probably a human woman's face. You could see one arm made of some white stone is sticking up from the water, going up to about 100 feet in the air. And at the top of her hand, held outstretched like she's casting a spell, you see there is a gigantic flame. Given how far away you are from it, the flame itself is probably about 15 or 20 feet wide and about 30 feet tall. And you can see there's the remnants of pillars and this gigantic statue laying all around you. It seems as if there's a city beneath you, as Bob has said, this might be the high point of the city. And the statue that was once on that high point has toppled over. But it's not clear why you're being pulled in this direction. And that's where we can end it for this week.
Nice.
Got control water. Reverse
Go
the
the
flow.
other way. Go the other way.
That was fun.
Fun.
Cool.
It's nice to do something other than Lucharosi.
Yeah, what would we would have had to deal with fucking Lucharosi in the water.
Well, Lucharosi can
Worse.
fly, so he
Worse.
just like floating around.
It'll be worse than that, though, when Lucharos has to get out of the water and it's just a giant wet cat.
So licking himself for hours. You know?
Looking really pissed off. So it'll take you a couple minutes, I guess, to get to the point where you can make out the statue clearly. I don't know if anybody had anything they wanted to do immediately after the fight.
I don't know.
Once
No, I
Axios
just-
is back on the boat.
Start throwing bodies off the side and checking to make sure everyone's all right.
Yeah,
And
using
I don't
Prestidigitation.
know. I don't know if anybody wanted to get the Dragonborn's body out of the water or not.
I'd use Prestidigitation to dry myself off, and then if needed, I would help with another unseen servant to try and get the Dragonborn's body back on board. If somebody wants to help with the hook.
Yeah, I could help. I also want to collect maybe a shark fin or something, just for like memorabilia.
No elf ears, but
you'd have to-
definitely shark fins.
You'd have to drag that up and cut it off because you can't just like slice it. That takes effort.
All right. I'll pick up the shark and drag it onto the ship.
It's like swimming with it. Help me with this. I mean, we could eat it.
Do that.
Well, but do we want to?
It's shark meat. What's wrong with that? Do they look sick?
Ooh-ha-ha.
Give me a medicine check. No, they don't look sick.
Yeah.
It's cool. Sweet. Yeah, free food.
Have us some shark meat.
I mean,
man.
they've been feeding on these bodies for a while, but they don't look sick.
Ah,
Some shark fin soup.
no, I'm keeping the fin. It's just shark soup.
I mean, I'll say what I was actually sort of curious about was, is anybody going to note that Axios and Nala saved the boat? But I realized Daggerface definitely would praise, certainly Bob, for all he did to save the boat. But also Nala and Axios, because nobody else leapt into the water.
Yeah. Well,
Wearing
Bob
armor.
knows who's boss, so
And
I
without
showed
moving
up
into
his
the water.
stupid trident.
Yeah, he's not. Daggerface certainly would not suggest that Zarius in his armor should have leapt into the water, because that would have just meant the end of Zarius.
I
So,
only spoke a word and they all stopped.
Right, yeah. Clearly, you cut about half the length of the battle out by killing off a lot of, or at least immobilizing a lot of these things.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a useful round. But nonetheless, he was worried about whether or not you were all going to sink right here and just be in the water. Because Bob would be the first one to tell you, this wasn't every Sahuagin that's in the water around here. This is just the ones that happen to be around the boat now. Give them time and they could get more numbers here.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me see something. Tony, do you mind sharing your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 20.
Okay. That'd be good enough. I'm going to tell you a little thing you might have noticed about Axios. Unless anybody else has a passive perception of 20.
No.
Yeah.
He also has a super high medicine check.
My passive medicine is a 25.
Whoa, that's impressive.
Not that there's a passive medicine really, but
Dr.
I mean, actually,
Zarius.
I do play with passive skills. Your passive medicine check is exactly why I told you before anyone else that Loki was pregnant.
oh right.
Like I would say,
Sure.
if somebody has a disease, you could notice it without even trying because of your medicine skill.
Very cool.
Dealt with a lot of bodies.
Cool. It was a cool concept. I was thinking that, like, I was wondering if there was like, and I mean, we still don't know, but that if there was like, it was like a magical fog, and it was hiding something. Like,
I mean, yeah, no one has really asked about the fog. If anyone wanted to make an Arcana check, they could.
I'm not
Yeah, I would do that.
proficient.
I'm pretty good at Arcana.
I mean, you would know, so Axios, you wouldn't have noticed that the fog came on so suddenly and was so closely linked to where the body started popping up that there's probably something magical about it.
yeah.
And in particular, it may be trying to obscure whatever this glowing light is, or something in the vicinity of it.
I like your character, Mike. It's pretty cool. I've never
Yeah.
seen an illusionist wizard, and this is gonna be like first time seeing all of it, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was really excited to play something like this because illusionists are a very different type of wizard. I was a little surprised and disappointed that my signature attack ability came out so soon, but I really didn't have very many other options that made sense spell-wise.
I would say the one thing that I was a little disappointed by was you came up with this really great idea to use major image. And I was like, but the sharks are all being telepathically controlled. So they can't really go after another target that they're not told to go after.
Yeah, and I was trying to think of other creative uses, like maybe if I created some kind of wall illusion, or like maybe created fog on top of fog or something like that. But it just seemed like none of it struck me as particularly helpful at the time, especially since now this after the Sahuagin showed that they're not only shooting bolts of energy, but bolts of energy that can push people off the boat.
Yeah, I figured. Actually, they gave the Sahuagin Warlock a different ability, and I was like, why would Sahuagin Warlocks not have the ability to knock people off boats?
Yeah.
Sense, yeah.
Why would they not have the 10-foot pushback thing? They
They're
took
not high
away
enough
one of their
warlock.
abilities to give them that.
Not a high enough warlock level to get that invocation.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And Tony, you got my message?
So I gotta drop
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
See you, man.
Talk to you guys
All right.
later.
All right.
Bye.
Later, everyone.